to begin with Audio Link, you need Poyomi Pro. So you're gonna import the package. See, she came with Poyomi 2, free version, but you cannot get. I don't. You cannot have Audio Link, as far as I'm aware, without Poyomi Pro. I don't know. I've been doing this for a couple months, ever since Audio Link came out. Maybe it's now in the free version, but I use Poyomi Pro, support Poyomi. We all use their fucking haters. God bless. Okay, so I imported it. You can either delete the Poyomi shader this folder and then import, or you can try and overwrite it. I usually just delete. But I already had Poyomi. So this avatar here, this beautiful avatar, this skater girl by Nip Sezzy. Nip and Sezzy. I think it was Sezzy. Unless it was Nip. It was Sezzy. This is by Sezzy. I remember looking up. Okay, so this beautiful avatar by Sezzy, his name's Layla, has a male counterpart, which I also have. So I have Audio Link set up on, so that's why we're adding it. Layla as well. So what we're gonna do is there's essentially like 3 different. I'll just start off. There's 3 different things Audio Link can do. We're gonna assign it to Poyomi Pro. Load. Oh, and now this rail is assigned. Pro. You're gonna scroll down. Go to Audio Link under Special Effects here. Click Audio Link. And this is just the debugging tool. Honestly, don't mess with anything here. When you want to test Audio Link, we'll get to that later, but this debugging tool, I don't recommend it. It works for sure, but it doesn't tell you how it'll react to music. It just tells you how it reacts to the individual sections of music. So you have treble, you have high mid, low mid, and bass. So treble is like your high notes, bass is like the thumping, low mid, high mid, respectively. Pitches. Or whatnot, I'm not. So Audio Link is connected to emissions. Specifically in the emissions part, you have your emission strength, just general emission. You have center out emission, so flow. Oh, sorry, I feel like I said that like bench. Center out, you can center out it in intensity, center out it in low speed. So emission strength, center out, add, center out, duration, emission strength, add ban. So this is just saying, like, if you want to add more emission on the bass, so it blinks with the heavy bass, but add emission, so it would be a max of 2, or a low of 0, or a low of 1 if you want it to always be glowing. Or you can do a low of -1. Why would we do that? So if you want this shirt to always be glowing, you normally enable emission, right? Emission strength 1. So then it'll always be glowing, right? Emission color red. Placement color. Yeah, so it's always glowing. You have an emission strength. So what this is saying here, -1 to 2, is that it will go to negative. It'll subtract 1. So it'll go to 0 from your 1. And when it adds 2, it'll go to 3, which is really right. It's all personal preference. But when you add -1, that means on no bass in an Audio Link world, this will not be red. It'll have no emission because it subtracts 1. No emission on Audio Link world. But in any other world, it'll just always be red. That makes sense. So, similar concepts apply with center out emission. It looks really good if you can get it down right. I think it's very tricky. I'll play around with that later. see if we can get it going in a nice way. But yeah, that's basically emission audio link. So now if you want to do dissolve audio link, which I really like playing with, especially on pants. She's not wearing pants, but especially on pants, I really like playing with the dissolve effect. So if you're not familiar with dissolve, you have point to point. I like to start off enable audio link. I like to start off by coordinating the point to point, so local. Cause she has like a little crop top going from edge length start point. Yeah, going from -1 to 1 is a little overkill because you see as we dissolve alpha, whoops, I'll make it. As we dissolve alpha, you don't really see anything until about here. So what I like to do to calibrate my point to point, if you already know how to do this, just skip ahead. But this is a rough dissolve point to point. God, I hope I'm recording. Yeah, this is a rough dissolve point to point alpha tutorial real quick for you here. So we're gonna start 0.5 maybe. Just a rough estimate. Slide this up a little bit. I like to start here. Okay, down a little bit. See, I mean, right there. What? Gotta take that down a little. Cool. That's where we're gonna be starting here. Cause it's just one above. -1's like all day. And then I like to go to full alpha, which is 1. And then that's the endpoint. So we're gonna play around with this until you see it completely dissolve. I'll make the dissolve color green so you can tell that it's actually just. So there. Starting at 0. Alpha. 1 alpha. In alpha, we can close this now that we have our little. Alpha is just a generic variable in which 0, no dissolve. You have your half dissolve, full dissolve, 1. So the dissolve alpha is basically saying at 0.5 you're at 50% dissolved, at 1 you're at 100%. And so when you do point to point local, you're just setting up your little coordinate system of like the garment. Here we're starting at the bottom, top. So it's not wasting time in the lower bits trying to get all the way up here. Then in the upper bits, it's not wasting time trying to solve stuff up here because there's nothing up there. So that's why it's important to set this up, or else your audio link you won't get much visualization unless you like really crank up your audio link modification settings here. So that's a good base. So for point to point dissolving or audio link, I find it the best to have music playing. Sorry. And then set up these audio link mods to your range of your. Typically I do something like this. I usually keep these on bass because I'm a bass slut, I don't know. And for dissolve, your dissolve texture, I like to have it on something. I go to a lot of like EDM, yard chat worlds, so I like to have it all like techno-esque. So with my dissolve texture, I tile it a whole bunch, so it's a bunch of little squares. Sometimes if I'm feeling funky, on the dissolved texture, I make it pan diagonally. That's just my thing. So you just add panning 1. It goes over 1, down 1, which is a negative or positive. Dissolve emission strength, that's just, you can see it moving. Back. So then, beep beep, you have your edge color, which is what is red. I like to make my edge, I keep it softer. I give it the same amount of emission actually as the dissolved emission. And then dissolve noise and detail noise. So you can see here it says dissolve detail. Also part of what's. I like to make this a fun little wacky. See how it changes what the dissolve detail is? That's basically that. I like to make it something that matches somewhat to the noise, but not exactly, cause that gets me and my little brain. And you can pan this as well. I think panning is a really nice touch, but that's just me personally. Okay, so we have this cute little stove setup. You can see because the edge width, you can play around as you. You might want to adjust the starting and end points after you settings a little bit. If you're picky, like. But I doubt people. That's just. Yeah. Teensy bit. Okay. So we have that set up. And if you want to test it, alright, because like, if you remember, I just went down here, I picked these on bass, going from 0.1 to 1 alpha, 0.1 to 1 nil, alpha, alpha, bass, 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 detail. You can put this on treble, sometimes I think, or the bottom one on treble, top one on. Like that. That's also possible. But, so, anyways. I'm so sorry. There we go. So, if we want to test this, I'll link it. But someone made a fantastic GitHub where it's an audio link prefab. So you import that into your project, right? And you click the audio link folder. Here it is. Go to audio link avatar prefab. This has prefab in it for testing audio link controllers. You might have seen this before in an audio link world. It just helps. These are for like world stuff. This is for avatar. So drag this over into your project. And now I'm going to pause my music on my desktop. You're going to click audio link avatar, go down, audio link input. So you're going to want to put an MP3. I have a few in here already. You're going to put an MP3 into your audio link project. Make sure it's something that has bass. Make sure it's something you'd hear in a VRChat world. So then you have the best frame of reference on what your avatar would look like in a VRChat world without actually going into it. I have this Busta Rhymes remix. Make it a song that you don't hate. You're gonna be listening often. Don't mess with anything else. Do not mess with anything else. That's very important. Because if you mess with the volume and stuff, it'll all be a mess. So now you can hit play like you'd test dynamic bones or something. So you can see it's working on the bass. And you can play around with these values. I don't know if you... Don't mess with the audio volume in Unity. Just turn it up on your desktop if you want it to be louder for you. That's very important. Because see, look, I have it all the way down on my desktop, but it's still playing. You mess with it in here, it'll ruin everything, trust me. Um, so, as you can see, if we put both on bass, it's fun, right? I think it's fun. And put dissolve alpha on treble. A lot of songs I've found don't have a lot of treble. But you see the dissolve detail. We put this at 0. So there's no dissolve alpha going. This is dissolve detail. You can see it's getting bigger with the bass. Cool, right? If we increase this on the lower end, it'll completely disappear when there's no bass. Or we can make the margin very small on the upper end, so it's more subtle. Or we can bring it down. So at max bass, it's going to be 0.5 dissolve detail. That's why the squares are a little small. Or you can make it dramatic. And you can see the scrolling effect here. That's my panning. That's honestly, I think the panning is really cool. That's why I keep it. So now if we do no dissolve detail and increase dissolve alpha or bass, you can see it's dissolving up. You can make it dissolve downward. That's a personal preference. But the dissolve detail, it's just the red because we don't have any detail here. So if we add the detail, make it a little more dramatic, increase the range. Boom. She's jamming, and she looks like a watermelon. Yeah, sometimes I do white. Like something pastel. I don't know. It's all personal. You can match your eye. Yeah, or you can do an edge gradient. Sometimes, if I'm feeling feisty, I'll do a rainbow edge gradient. And then as the song loops, you'll see my edge gradient's a rainbow. Sick, right? I love audio link. Honestly, this tutorial is going to be so long because I could talk about this forever. Darling. So that's what I'm going to do for the shirt. That's it. I'm going to put audio link on the hair and tail. For something like this, so they all pulse the same, you can just copy and paste. For like the tail, the ears, the tail, and the hair, you can copy and paste. Your shader, but this lovely avatar, it's all the same material. So go to hair, Omi, change it to .omi Pro. God, I'm so sorry. Audio link. Strength add 1. Pulsing. Tiny. Yep. I also like to enable hue shift. Hue shift speed. This is something I just figured out a couple days ago because I don't like to explore often. But I really like this effect because it's hue shifting the emission, but you only see the emission sometimes. So it looks like volume down. So it looks like it's changing colors on beat, because of how it pops up. So I like to do a hue shift just as a fun party mode. You can always make that a toggle, enable hue shift, or not enable hue. 1, -1, base color, boom. Might D. There, yeah, fun. Ooh, look at her go. Got it on the tail. Woo! And then with enable hue shift on. Yellow, yellow, green, blue, purple. I think that's a fun rave effect. I like her a lot.